once again. So for this video, let's get to the point of the video right away because sometimes I feel like I talk too much. The introduction is too long. Okay, so usually when I'm doing poetry reading sessions, I am asking you to provide the poems that you would love me to read. But today I decided to choose those poems myself, and those poems are going to be written by my friends on Instagram. And when that idea came to me, I was like, oh my god, that would be so cool to do, because that would be like a small gift from me to them. Surprise, I would say, because they don't know about this, and I'm going to read their poems and discuss a little bit, and I hope we have a good time together. And these are the ones that I chose myself and I really relate to. So let's get to those poems. Okay, so the first one is by my incredible Lindsay, and her username is So Outspoken, at So Outspoken. So the poem is healing is a painful process full of joy, a secret which I desire to divine, but nightmares aren't so scary without the protection of the dark. Once God comes in and shines light into your heart, joy emerges like a fresh new start. How incredible is this? Sorry. I love this poem not only because it's incredibly beautiful, but because of the first line, especially because like healing is a painful process. It's so relatable and it's so true, because when you're trying to heal, sometimes it's really painful because if you're trying to heal, it means you've been going through pain before that, right? There's something like a failure or a bad thing happened in your life and you're trying to forget that. But to be able to forget that, you have to remember all those moments that you want to forget. And for me, that was really to the point. Like, healing is a painful process. It really is. And it's a hard process, and I agreed with the first line especially. And then also with this part, once God comes in and shines light in your heart, joy emerges like a fresh new start, because then at some point you're trying to find that light in yourself and start, from scratch. Just erase all the pain and all the wounds that you've had before and just start from the beginning. I thought it was really beautiful, and I thought it was very emotional and touching and relatable. That's why I wanted to read this for you guys. The next one is by @cpoet_. I think and dream about you, though I have never seen your face, yet I still fall into the endless void of hope that I will find you in true love. I really love this because I've had similar thoughts in the past where I'm talking to my soulmate, my one and only true love, and without even knowing who that person is, it feels like I'm talking to that person. Like, do you hear me? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know that I'm looking for you? Are you looking for me too? Your one and only love, your one and only soulmate. And this felt so relatable to me because I have those thoughts in my head usually, because I'm like, do you hear me? I'm writing about you, I'm dreaming of you, I'm thinking of when is the time when I'm going to meet you, and then do you like hear me? Do you hear my poems and everything? So I think in Dream About You, this part was really true, and I loved it. And this part as well, where it was written, I will find you and true love, because it's literally about me. I'm like sitting there in my room dreaming about that person, writing about them, hoping that that person kind of has that special connection with me and can hear my thoughts and poems. So this is incredibly beautiful. I just loved this. The next one is by @Casey Casten. I hope I didn't misread the username. I'm sorry if I did. Really sorry. So here it goes. What if I told you that I can see you as exactly what you are? a flawed, broken soul that's still shining so intensely and beautifully. For some reason, all the poems that I chose are really, really sad, but at the same time very beautiful. I fell for the first sentence, which is, what if I told you that I can see you as exactly what you are? I think this is what we want as humans to achieve. No matter who we're talking to, we always have that desire to be seen exactly the way we are. Sometimes I realize that I'm very, very exhausted of trying to explain myself whenever I'm, joking, or whenever I'm stating my opinion. I'm really tired of saying, you know what, this is not who I usually am. I'm saying this because this has happened to me. I'm saying this because there are these cases where this is true and this is not. So sometimes you're with the closest people of yours, it's not like that because they literally know you from head to toe, like 100%. You don't have to explain yourself. But sometimes with other people, with the people that you just met, it's really hard to be yourself because you're not sure whether they can understand you the way that you are. So the first sentence was to the point for me. What if I told you? So I think those are the magical words where you see the person just the way they are, and you can see through them, and you know that they're not as bad as they might show, or they're not the way that others think they are. And this is beautiful, incredible. I keep saying beautiful because I want to highlight the beauty of each and every poem, but just know that no matter which poem I chose today by my friends, all of those are really, really beautiful and deep and emotional. The next one is by @daisyblack.poetry. It rained for a week that week without a single pause or break. The sky cried on my behalf, for I was too busy trying to be brave. I loved this poem, and I saved this a couple of days ago because I felt the way this poem feels. I don't know whether that made sense or not, but sometimes I really like rainy days. But when I thought about like why is it that I really like rainy days, the first reason is that it gets me into the melancholic, sad, romantic mood where I can write. And also at the same time because sometimes I feel like crying but I really don't want to cry because sometimes the emotions are too much for me, and I'm like, if I start writing, if I start crying, I might cry for hours. So I'm like, let me just keep that inside of me and let the skies cry instead of me. And I think that's a situation that has happened to, if not all of us, then most of us, where you really don't want to cry, and then the skies are crying, it's raining, and you're like, yeah, please cry on my behalf because I'm too busy trying to be brave, showing people that I don't care, showing people that it doesn't hurt, and just, smiling when I'm crying on the inside. It's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. The next one is by one of my best friends on Instagram. Sorry if I misread your username. I still don't know how it's read. Okay. At fixum_core_poetica. Sometimes pain, beauty, and love are the same thing, and believe me, when I talk to you, I feel it all because you're my everything. Don't know about you guys, but this was so beautiful for me because for me it was about each and every relationship that we have with people, because sometimes we try to find those perfect relationships, whether romantically or even not. We're like, I don't want to be hurt, I don't want any obstacles to be in that relationship, no bad days, only good days and stuff. And then at some point I realized that every relationship has those bad days, and it's still it's not an obstacle but a way to make your relationship even stronger. And here where Chris wrote, I feel it all with you because you're my everything is, I feel the pain, I feel the love, I feel the beauty with you, even though it's painful. I feel it with you and I don't regret it, because with the people you love, sometimes you go through pain, but love is more valuable and more, much stronger than the pain. That's why you keep, you kind of decide to stay with those people and continue that relationship with those people, which is incredibly beautiful in my opinion. And that is what makes so realistic, that relationship where you have those ups and downs, but you still decide to stay with those people, whether those are friends or romantic relationships or family members. I'm not saying that you should always be in pain. That's not what I'm saying. But usually what makes a relationship realistic is that both of the parties can be themselves, and also even though there are painful moments, they decide to choose each other and to choose to stay together. At least this is what this poem was for me. The next one is by @hearts.end.rhymes. So where am I on a scale of hate to love? I'd appreciate a choice of either 10 or 1. A 5 would be the indifference I dread, and I'm still too weak to try and live with that. This was so powerful. Like, straight into the heart, because I related to this because I am always like, go big or go home. That is what I am. I don't like that middle situation, It's either you love me or you hate me. You don't have to be like in the middle of mixed emotions. Either I'm doing everything that I can, or I'm not doing anything at all. So, and that is what I usually do in each and every situation. And especially with love, it's really, really important to be sure of what you feel towards that person, and also for the other party as well. For example, when somebody doesn't understand whether they love you or they don't love you, you're like, you know what? I need a more concrete answer to understand where I stand in your life, because 5 is such, it's in the middle. It feels like it's neither hate nor love, but it's, for me personally, it's much worse than knowing that you're hated by that person, at least because you have a concrete, specific answer. Not like, I don't know whether I love you or I hate you. I don't know whether I want this or I don't want this. That's even worse. At least tell me what you actually feel towards me or towards the relationship. So I totally agree with this, because this is so beautiful and relatable. And I felt like I was the one who wrote it, because it came from my heart. And it came straight into my heart. The next one is by Miriam, and her username is Miriam077. I am the melody, casting a spell on the sunrise, painting your life with the colors you need right now. But I am much more than this. I am best friend with the unknown, and on fire for every beat that might catch a tune. I will surprise you for sure and cast a spell on you. This was so inspiring and so sweet, because it's like, for me, it felt like a poem where you try to inspire yourself and you're trying to lift yourself up, where you're like, I can do this for you, I can do this and this, I can make you happy, I can add colors to your life. But you don't know me completely. That's not the only thing that I can do. I can do this and that, and then I can cast a spell on you, which is so magical and so romantic and so beautiful and pure. I really, really fell for this, because I felt like I was reading this for myself, and I dedicated this to myself to be more confident in myself and understand that for some people, I might be more than I think I am, which is incredible. Then this is by @IsabellaG.poetry. You say I'm causing my own pain, as you twist the knife deeper in. This was incredible because I feel like this can be taken as a metaphor for so many different situations. I've realized that there are people who hurt you, but at the same time they don't understand that they hurt you, and they start blaming you. They're like, you know what? Why are you in pain? Why are you the only one who's, trying to say that you're the only one causing your own pain? But they don't realize that the roots of the pain come from them. And I've felt that in many different situations, and I feel like this is a very relatable quote, unfortunately, because there are so many people who actually hurt you, either with feelings or with feelings. What was I saying? Oh yeah, either with words or just emotionally, or they've done something and they didn't realize that they actually hurt you. And some people just don't realize that and then ignore it, and others don't realize that, and moreover they start blaming you for feeling that pain and for actually thinking that they're the ones who caused you that pain. So I thought that this was really deep and really emotional, and sadly enough, so many people feel this. The next one is by Afifa Poetry. Love is not within two hearts, it is within a heart. You don't need someone to create it. You are needed to find it in yourself. I love this because self-love is really relevant these days, and self-love is really, really important. Sometimes we try to depend on other people for them to love us, to show us that we deserve to be loved. But then when for a moment then you stop and then you're like, okay, so how can somebody else love me when I don't even love myself enough? So you have to show through your self-love, self-appreciation, that you deserve to be loved and appreciated and valued, and you are worthy of being loved and of loving as well. So I love this because it's like an aha moment. It's like, you know what? It's not within two hearts. You have to start loving yourself and then move on to loving and receiving love from others. Incredibly beautiful. And this is by Babs. Add BG_Babs author. It's okay to pause, stop, rest. It's okay to just breathe. I love this because sometimes I am really, really hard on myself. I feel like I have to be super, super productive, and sometimes I'm like, why did you not do this and this and this and this throughout the day? You're so bad at this. Why are you even wasting the whole time in the world when you could have achieved so many things, when you could have done so many things? And I needed to read this. This is an incredible reminder for you guys. You can even save it and take it out when you need to hear those words, and you don't want to be the one to say that to yourself, but you really need to hear this. Just take it out of your phone and just take a look at this message and remember that it's okay to breathe. It's okay to stop. It's okay not to do some stuff for a while. It's okay to rest. And this is an incredibly important message, and I can't highlight this enough, because now when I'm saying, I feel like I'm talking to myself, because sometimes I really do forget to rest, and not only physically but emotionally as well. I'm like, you should have done this, you should have done this, why can't you write, why can't you do this, you have so many goals, but why can't you do anything towards your goals? So please remember that it's okay to pause from time to time. It's okay to rest, and it's okay to just take a moment to breathe and then to start over again or continue. And yeah, we have At Sunset Conversation. sometimes the smallest things take up the most room. And this was incredibly deep because sometimes you feel like those little things don't matter. Even small things like somebody hurt you or somebody said something negative to you, and you're like, yeah, I don't care. I don't think that this has done anything to me. And then those smaller things come together and take up such a huge space in the room of your heart, where you're like, and then you come back to it when you really, really realize what is really happening in your life. You're like, oh my God, those smallest things take up the most room in my life. And this is also, I think this can also be applied in other cases as well. For example, sometimes so many good things are happening in my life, and I am really grateful for all of those. But then at some point, I start to get worried about some things. For example, now I am studying to become an editor, right? So I'm taking courses, I'm writing on a daily basis, I'm reading to be able to do all of those. But then I feel like there's a little worry, there's a little doubt in me that it wakes up from time to time, and I feel like that outweighs all of the good things. So I'm really trying to work on myself not to be like that. And I think this is what it also talks about, where the smallest things, like it's a little small doubt that could have been unimportant in other cases, but I give it some importance and it takes up the whole room in my heart and in my mind. And the last one is by _thought.aloud_. A part of me is waiting to fail yet again, but somewhere within, I am sure that this time I'll do well. Again, this is, I think this is a very relatable piece to those people who are creating in one way or another, whether they're composing music or writing books and poetry or quotes and everything. Because when you are creating something and putting it out into the world, every time, at least that's how it is for me, every time when you put something out into the world, you're waiting that you're going to fail this time. It's not going to be loved, it's not going to be appreciated, it's not going to be understood by other people. And then there's another part of you which says that don't worry about that, I'm sure you can do this. And usually this is what happens to me. I have two parts in me. I have two Lauras in me. The one is always afraid of doing things, of trying new things, and that person is always afraid of failing, because even though you learn a lot from the failure, you still don't want to fail, right? You want to get up every time, and it's really hard to do so. That's one Laura. And the next Laura is like, don't listen to that first one. You can do anything. You are talented. You are creative. You can create and be appreciated. You won't fail this time. So I related to this piece a lot because, again, it represents my emotions really, really accurately, and I loved it. Thank you very much for being with me in this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you liked the poetries that I fell for, and I decided that I had to read those for you guys to listen to those and to relate to those and to also follow those poets, because they are incredibly talented. And not only are they incredibly talented, they are super, super, super sweet. All those people whose poems I read today are incredibly sweet, understanding, talented, and just amazing humans. See you in another video. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also I would really appreciate it if you could give me some ideas for the next few videos. Thank you very much. I love you guys. Mwah! Have a beautiful day. Love you.